Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, turtles. I haven't read these yet. These are some brand new ones. I don't even remember where I left off on the turtles last time. Episodes ago. So happy Christmas, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, Merry New Year, all that shit. I love y'all. Sorry. I'm a little sick. That's why we are lacking an episode of the iPod, because I could have went to Vino's today to record. But it was like 10 degrees outside and I'm fighting this cold or whatever I have. So I decided to stay home. Work was good. Since I've been sleeping a lot, since I've been on vacation since Thursday. Yesterday was my first day of vacation, man. All I did was I made a couple of TikTok clips and that's what I call them. Even when I put them on reels, shorts. I made some shorts and reels. Played some Minecraft. I'm almost done with Yoshi's Island. Finally, it'll be one of the few handful of games that I've actually beaten, including Pokemon Yellow, Mario Kart. What was that game? Me, my son, and Isaac played it with our cousin, with Joaquin and Mateo were there too. It was an amazing moment. We beat Super Mario Bros. Wii. So yeah, Yoshi's Island, I have it on the Wii U. I never beat it when I was a kid. I had it on the Game Boy Advance when I was a kid. No, I had it on the Super Nintendo as a kid. I probably bought it on the Game Boy Advance as well. One of my favorite games. Used to make me and my sister fucking laugh, dying laughing, because there's an episode, there's a level where where there's these balls that are floating around, and if you touch one, it makes it like you're fucked up, like you're stoned. It's like, but if you eat one, you fart it out and you act like you're stoned. So me and my sister kept eating them and farting, and we were just dying. That was before drugs, man. Shout out to Yoshi's Island. What else? Christmas is coming up. Hopefully, y'all are having a good one. I had to start writing down some quotes again. Now, some of these I don't necessarily always agree with. Like Marcus Aurelius says, put up with discomfort without complaining. Maybe to an extent, but in the long run, that could fuck you up. So I like this one from Socrates. This is a random quote. Mankind is made of two kinds of people. Wise people who know they're fools, and fools who think they are wise. Definitely. And I've been trying to practice this. Not being controlled by an emotion helps to see things at a higher level. From Ray Dalio. You know what I'm saying? Too much gratitude to have an attitude. Yes, sir. And I did a couple, I was feeling low or whatever, made some kind of not grave mistakes, but some silly mistakes. But I'm learning, and last weekend Vino told me, he's like, bro, in the summertime you were reading the Bible. Like, you were doing good. I was like, yeah, I didn't have to work, but I could keep reading. So I read a little bit more, and I went through and added some of my quotes, because I had a book like this, but I gave it to my brother-in-law Cody. Shout out to him. But I got another one, and I wanted to do it again, because I'm like, yo, I needed to. I'm not completely just ready to raw dog life. But here's one from the Bible. See, this alone I found. God made human beings straightforward, but they search for many complications. Ecclesiastes 7:29. Wow, right? Wow, right? All right, man. Whoa. About to bust another flow. Here's some random questions. Here we go. What song makes you sad the moment you hear it? So there's this song. So I have a friend who passed away, Lauren Martinez, and we would talk about, because we used to be friends on Facebook, but I was an annoying friend on Facebook, because I would always put conspiracy theories, and there would be memes talking shit about rappers that I didn't like. I didn't make the memes were already there, I was just sharing them. But and I would talk shit about people like Post Malone for no reason. And she was a fan of Post Malone. And I never really gave him a chance until after she passed. And there's a couple of his songs I'm like, wow, they're good. The Goodbyes. Goodbye makes me feel sad because I never really got to say goodbye to Lauren. And what's interesting is we worked together, but we also knew we met each other in a college class. And we didn't just meet in the college class. We ended up clicking as friends, and she took me to a comic book shop. Like, we hung out a few times before she ended up working at my job. And we worked together for a few years. What's the closest thing to your superpower? Nerd alert, nerd alert. Being a nerd. Seeing... sometimes it feels like I can read a mind, but not really, but kind of. If you know what I mean, Jelly Bean. Oh man, I haven't been marking these out. What's the scariest thing you've ever done? Sent a stupid ass text. Right? I don't know. What is your favorite film beginning with the letter L? L, Ladybug, Lost in Time. I don't even know that movie. Lost in Space was a cool movie, the more recent one. But I can't think of a lot of movies beginning with Lion King. It was dope as fuck, the original. Number 1010 from 3,000 Questions About Myself and You Guys and Gals. Alright, in any of your relationships, what was one of the hardest challenges you faced? Separating and having a child with that person. Having a child with that person and separating and being able to split the time. Biggest risk you've ever taken? Being on stage and rapping music and then not remembering some of the verses, and so just trying to freestyle. I think I got saved by this dude up there who was like started rapping on top of the beat. But yeah, performing in front of like a room full of just melanated people in Wichita Falls, Texas. And it was fun as fuck, man. It was dope as fuck. If you're a stranger looking at your life from the outside in, what inspired you? Yeah. To see where I came from being a child to now. I've been a decent dad and stuff, and I think it would inspire people. Me being so honest, brutally honest sometimes. What major scientific advancement do you predict will be released in the next 20 years? Probably that Neuralink, the chips in the brain. Chips in the brain. If it helps people, man, then that'd be cool. I don't want it in my brain, though. Do you let other people's negativity affect you? I shouldn't, but it used to a lot. I practice on a daily to not let it get to me. What issue has ever divided your family or a specific relationship? Divided the family. The 2020 election divided the family up a bit, but we always kept it We always kept it cordial. We just because some of us thought some things and some of us thought other things didn't mean that we were like not gonna see each other. We still saw each other. Still spent time together. Also, whoa, COVID kind of split us up. But again, we survived. Our family is strong, and we got through it. And it was just, it was a test. Have you ever shoved things in the closet to make your room look clean? 100%. 1,000,000,000%. And under the bed, too. What type of journalist would you be? A controversial kind, more than likely. One that the major companies would not probably hire. For instance, Washington Post might not hire me. Others as well. Have you ever starred in an amateur or professional video? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this if not an amateur video? What was the worst way you've been dumped or dumped someone else? The worst way I was dumped was when I was like 16 and I found out my first love and the one who took my V card, that she was cheating on me. Now the fucked up thing is I had cheated on her, so it was just karma, 100%. But it was a bad way because I went to her house and she's like, yo, I'm gonna cheat on you, bro. Well, no, see what happened was I went to the mall and she wasn't there. We were supposed to meet there. She didn't show up. She was like, nah, I'm not gonna go. Fuck you, basically. And then I asked my homegirl to pick me up and she gave me a ride to Richardson, and I asked, and then I was like, what the fuck? And she's like, yo, I've been cheating on you since such and such time. I was like, what? Yeah. What do you daydream about? Going home, spending time with the homies, spending time with my son, spending time with the family, my sister, being at the crib, recording, editing, being in the backyard. Right now I got a beautiful view of the sunset. It's pink and blue and purple. I daydream of home, my friends. Alright, let's take a break and then we'll come right back. Shout out to these incense that I just knocked over in that cool box. And they come in these cool little envelope type things. One says healing spirit, so that's what I'm trying to use. Alright, guys.
Yo.
Alright. So originally I was gonna do, what has it been? Originally I was gonna do a flock of birds, any kind of birds. But then, after work, when I was thinking about it, I went to go get some Chinese food. And you know what I saw in the parking lot? Well, seagulls! And I was like, that's interesting. I haven't done seagulls yet, and yet I see them sometimes. And I don't even see them by the sea. They're not even, there's the lake. I mean, I guess there's a lake nearby, but they come pretty far from the lake. So, seagulls. Spirit-animals.com says that the seagull symbolism means that there's always opportunity in everything, including the most unlikely places. Things may seem a little barren and unproductive right now. However, even the most unlikely places can bear an opportunity for your new resources. The point is to realize that you are in this place and time for a reason. Sorry, in this place and time, that looked bad. This is what I meant to do. You are in this place and time for a reason, in this place. Worldbirds.com says the seagull in many cases symbolizes negative traits such as gluttony, thievery, gossip, crowd mentality, and dirtiness. There is much more to the misunderstood seagull, however. Gulls are devoted parents. These birds defend their young with incredible ferocity. Additionally, both gull parents participate actively in rearing their brood. RichardALois.com says that seagulls soar in the infinite blue skies as they remind us of their existence is powerful. This is fucked up. These intelligent birds have an affinity to coastlines, making it seem that they are unrestrained and unrestricted. They symbolize protection, commitment, freedom, and hope. TheBirdGeek.com says seagulls are often considered a symbol of intuition, because they so often see signs of fish before sailors and others notice them. Seagulls are also considered insightful and were sometimes considered bad luck if they flew away quickly from sailors following them. AngelicalBalance.com says the seagull is a symbol that there is something unique in you, which is the ability of God in you. This ability can come in form of a talent or skill. The seagull is a symbol of promotion and elevation. Spirit Animals and Symbolism.com says the seagull is a social bird that forms lifelong bonds with its mate. It's interesting, not all animals do that. Not all people do that either. This quality is seen as a symbol of fidelity and devotion. The seagull is also known to mate for life, representing its devotion, positivity, and outlook. The seagull is also seen as a symbol of positivity and good luck. MillersGuild.com says that some of the meanings are that it means focus on your family, practice self-care, be more adaptable, boost your knowledge, learn to communicate effectively, be opportunistic. Also, seagulls are such a big part of ocean life that they have been featured in children's films about the ocean several times. What the fuck was that? That made no sense. Anyway, yeah. Seagulls are pretty dope. Alright, what's next? Angel number of the week. Now, we talked about this because I think the last time I recorded, I had 161 subscribers. Now we have 170. Thank you, my friends. I really appreciate it. So today we're going to do 161. Sunsigns.org says, 161 meaning says that you have to trust your angels with your needs. They are here to help you. Keep your hopes high. Remain vigilant and grateful for everything that happens. A heart of gratitude will gain you favor with man and God as well. The Secret of the Tarot.com says, 161 calls on you to utilize the opportunities in your life. Your divine guides have given you everything you need to achieve your goals and dreams. You have special gifts and talents. Your spirit guides are asking you to use these blessings to help others. Use the blessings in your life to shine light and love to the world. Angelnumber.me, that's M-E, says it's a positive sign that you are nearing the end of a cycle in your twin flame journey. The angels want you to realize that this new phase will bring all the positive things for you and your twin flame. What to do when you see angel number 161? Work hard to be successful. Develop qualities that will help you achieve success. Excuse me. Shout out to water. Nearly the most important thing ever. Almost. Let's see. NumerologyNation.com says that 161 is an auspicious number that represents overcoming obstacles in life, new momentum of the future, positive energy, family progress, and new and exciting opportunities. How synchronicious, that's not the right word, is it that Christmas is coming up? The holidays. Most of us celebrate Christmas, maybe, or whatever we celebrate. Maybe we just do a little get together with the family. But usually around this time, whether you celebrate anything or not, we spend time with family. We're forced to if you have kids, because they're on vacation. And Seagull and 161 both have ties into family. When this angelic sign shows up, it's positive declaration from the universe that your true desires will soon become reality. MindYourBodySoul.com says 161 is a spiritual and encouraging sign for one life. It can make you confident, be your boss, or maybe help you find your true perfect life partner. All you have to do is keep your calm and believe in the Almighty. Everything is going to get sorted out on its own. Pretty tight. Zodiac, as it often does. Zodiac Signs-horoscope.com says that 161 symbolizes satisfaction and fulfillment. Excuse me. Your guardians want you to live a sober life, full of fun, not drunk all the time. Hence, you must be content with as much as you have. You must be. This is what it says. Hence, you must be content with the much you have. I guess that makes sense. The angels are warning you not to associate your happiness with material things. Secondly, smiling is also a 161 symbolic meaning. Very interesting. Let's see. Dreams. So I've been doing dreams lately. What is this dream? Oh, so one of my dreams that I consistently have is I go to a convenience store, right? And I'm always looking for these. Sometimes they have them. Most of the time they haven't been having them lately. So I looked it up. What does it mean to go to a convenience store in a dream? I'm sure I'm not the only one. Convenience stores are a big part of our lives in this society. So I thought maybe this will help people. Dreamsdirectory.com says, dream about a convenience store is a message for discipline, constraints, and limitations. You are serious about learning more from your dreams. You are feeling overwhelmed and out of control. Your dream signals the temporary burdens and responsibilities that you are carrying with you. You are having difficulties expressing your thoughts and ideas. Dreamsopedia.com says, dream about being in a convenience store states your cheerful disposition and outlook on life. You are moving on to new beginnings and leaving the past behind. You are satisfied with how things are going. This dream suggests the need for security and nurturance. You are refusing to work together with someone on a project. Dreamsdirectory.com says, being in a convenience store in a dream is a signal for harmony, pleasure, and fertility. You make the best out of every situation. You are held in high esteem by those around you. The dream is a harbinger for your unrecognized energy and your hidden potential. Someone is mocking you or making fun of you. And if they are, fuck it. I just realized too, this is becoming a reality. The more fans, the more people that like something of yours, the more that people who don't like it are gonna come out. But that's just balance. That's just a balance, you know. And it's cool. It's cool. It's supposed to be like that. If you want to be prepared for success, you got to be prepared for people to love you, but also for people to hate you, to hate on you. Dreamaboutmeaning.com says, the dream about a convenience store is a symbol for wealth, good luck, harmony, creativity, and bliss. That good luck and wealth is probably because you know the lotto. You are experiencing wild mood swings, possibly. You feel that you are part of a special group. Your dream is a symbol for protection, heaven, and divinity. A project, relationship, or idea is about to take off in a sudden and spectacular way. Dreamsopedia.com, again, says a dream of a store is a symbol for resurrection, reincarnation, and fertility. You may need to calm down. You need to reevaluate the negativity you have towards an enemy. This dream is a harbinger for rigid authority and emotional repression. To dream about convenience stores suggests your potential for greatness. And the last one I got, dreamaboutmeaning.com. Once again, I guess I use them twice. Being in a convenience store dream represents family togetherness and joy. Another synchronicity for family this holiday season. You have renewed confidence and self-assurance. You fear that you will be punished for your past actions. The dream is a symbol for sympathy, protectiveness, and fraternal love. Someone else's goal and life path are affecting your own personal goals and path. Interesting. These are just some interpretations. If something resonated with you, that's what I go with. Some of those resonated with me, some of them didn't. So I'm like, yo, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's none of these. But it's interesting to think about because I'm not the only one who's been thought about it. You know what I'm saying? I'll be right back once again, my friend. Anxiety news about anxiety with your host Christopher Chaos. So this is from SciTechDaily.com, and I haven't read this, and I think it's bullshit because I sleep during the day sometimes, but I nap during the day. Anyway, let me just get into it. Sleeping during the day enhances memories of fear, emotional trauma, and anxiety. So maybe it's talking about sleeping in the day instead of at night. By Euro Federal University, December 20th, 2022. Shout out to the angel number that I just put up a clip of, 2020. Anxiety disorders such as panic, PTSD, or specific phobias occur in response to stress. They are characterized by a constant feeling of anxiety and fear, which can increase over time. A new study will aid in the development of rehabilitation strategies for individuals who are suffering from anxiety disorders. Researchers from Euro Federal University, or URFU, or ERFU, and the University of Tübingen in Germany investigated the effect of sleep in the formation and consolidation of fear memories into long-term memory. Neuroscientists discovered that a short nap improves memory for disturbing and distressing events, but a similar effect of memory improvement was also observed after a period of wakefulness. The study's findings will be helpful in developing rehabilitation strategies for those who have experienced emotional trauma as a consequence of violent actions, military operations, or natural disasters. The research was published in the journal Cognitive, Affective, and Behavioral Neuroscience. Memory consolidation is the process through which memories are transferred from short-term memory to long-term memory. Whoa! It's like in the movie Inside Out. It typically happens when you're sleeping. Numerous studies have shown that sleeping after learning might have benefits over passively remaining awake. This happens as a result of the reactivation of important memories, which may also be reflected in dreams. The positive effect of sleep can be observed even years later. However, there are currently no studies that have looked at whether sleep improves fear memory. Therefore, the study attempted to shed light on the subject of what happens to fear memories after a period of sleep and wakefulness. As Yuri Pavlov says, the fear reaction was studied using electroencephalography. Understanding the effect of sleep in situations where emotional trauma occurs is important for developing effective strategies for coping with disaster victims. People with panic or PTSD, says Yuri Pavlov, co-author of the article, researcher at the Laboratory of Neurotechnology of ERFU and the Institute of Medical Psychology and Behavioral Neurobiology at the University of Tübingen. He continues, if we found that the effect of sleep on fear memory is similar to other types of memory, such as episodic memory or memory of life events, then it would be more beneficial for victims not to sleep after the trauma. In our experiments, we determined that a 2-hour daytime nap reinforces the memories. That's a long-ass nap. Reinforces the memories of fear learned just before sleep. However, a similar effect was observed after wakefulness. Watching an emotionally neutral movie or a computer gaming similarly enhances fear memories. However, a similar effect was observed after wakefulness. Watching an emotionally neutral movie or computer gaming similarly enhances fear memories. That's weird. Before and after sleep, the participants went through a fear conditioning paradigm. The participants in the experiment, how would you read that if you didn't know English? Paradigm. The participants in the experiment first heard a neutral tone, and then it was always paired with a loud noise. Another tone was never paired with the noise, says the scientists. After multiple pairings, the neutral stimulus evoked an equally strong emotional response on its own. Interestingly, people typically rate the loud noise as more unpleasant than even electric shocks. also often used in fear research. I would not want to be a part of that research. I'd be so pissed off. The comparison between tone, like you just keep shocking me and putting a loud ass fucking noise. The comparison between tones paired with the highly aversive noise and the other tone, the safe cue, allowed us to investigate neural processes behind fear learning. We found that the neural signatures of fear learning enhanced after a nap and in equal measure after short rest, explains Yuri Pavlov. The fear condition responses were studied by electroencephalography before and after a 2-hour daytime nap or an equal period of wakefulness in 18 healthy young people. The researchers are now moving the study to the clinic where they plan to test patients in a vegetative state and a minimally conscious state to determine how sleep will affect their levels of anxiety and the formation of fear memories. They also note that further study of the effect of a longer sleep period is needed. So what the fuck are you supposed to do? It says it's similar, right? So if you have a traumatic event, you got to process it. You can't just be neutral about it. But you also don't want to go straight to sleep, right? So you got to stay awake, but you got to do something about the emotion to process it. Basically, is what they're saying, I guess. That's pretty fucking crazy. All right. I'm gonna take a break again, and then because I got a lot of reading to do in this last segment, I need to take a break. Got so much to read. Be right back, babies. Yo, we are back. We are back. So I've been on a Pixar kick. I tried watching Up today, but it was too lame. I couldn't really get into it. But I've watched a lot of Pixar movies. So these next couple weeks, I'm probably going to get into some Pixar movies. I just saw something flying there. So, this one is called Onward. Alright? And I had heard about it. I heard it was pretty good from Matt McCusker on Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. No, it's a 2020 angel number American computer animated urban fantasy adventure film produced by Pixar and distributed by Walt Disney. The film was directed by Dan Scanlon. Features Tom Holland, Chris Pratt. Set in a suburban fantasy world. It's an interesting backdrop. It's an interesting world. Man, I just got a text. I wonder if I could check it. Yeah, so the setting was dope. Let's see, where was I at? The film follows two elf brothers named Ian and Barley Lightfoot, who set out on a quest to find an artifact that will temporarily bring back their deceased father for 24 hours before it is too late. After directing Monsters University, which was pretty good, not the best Pixar, but it was pretty good, Scanlon was encouraged to develop personal stories. The concept of Onward is inspired by the death of Scanlon's father, who died in a car accident when Scanlon and his older brother were very young children, and their relationship with each other. He began to write the story after hearing an audio clip of his father. The film was announced at D23 Expo in July of 2017, with the title being revealed in December 2018, alongside the voice cast. The animation team chose to give the film's magic a unique style after studying several animated films featuring magic in order to fit with its suburban setting. Development on Onward lasted for 6 years on an approximate between $175 to $200 million budget. Composers Michael and Jeff D. Anna were hired to compose the film's musical score, making their second feature-length collaboration with Pixar Animation Studios. Onward premiered at the 70th Berlin International Film Festival on February 21st, 2020, and was theatrically released in the U.S. on March 6, 2020. The film received positive reviews from critics, but underperformed at the box office, grossing only $142 million worldwide. Now, this was in the height of COVID. So COVID-19 pandemic contributed to its financial shortcomings due to the widespread closure of theaters. Like several other films released in the early months of 2020, it found far greater success on video on demand. The film was nominated for Best Animated Feature Film at the 78th Golden Globe Awards and 93rd Academy Awards, but lost both awards to Soul, another incredible movie, which we talk about on here, and another Pixar film released in the same year. Onward was the last Pixar film released in theaters worldwide until Lightyear in June of 2022. In a world inhabited by mythic creatures, magic was commonplace millennia ago. Though difficult to master, after technological advances over the centuries, magic became obsolete and was largely discarded. Very interesting concept. In July of 2017, Pixar announced the Suburban Fantasy World film at the D23 Expo, with Dan and Corey Ray producing. The film was inspired by the death of Scanlan's father, which we already discussed. On December 12, 2018, Tom Holland, Chris Pratt, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Octavia Spencer were announced as starring in the film. While having recorded most of their lines separately, Holland and Pratt had some of their recording sessions together since, according to Scanlan, they've worked together before and hung out together. Spider-Man and Star-Lord. On December 17, 2019, Ali Wong, Glenna Waithe, and Mel Rodriguez joined the cast of the film. On February 18, 2020, Wilmer Valderrama, Tracy Ullman, Kyle Bornheimer, and George Psaris were revealed to have voice casts as well, and John Ratzenberger's appearance was officially confirmed. So one storyboard scene featuring Ian Barley and Wilden joining with the Goat Girl on the journey was deleted as a deleted scene. Ian and the Goat Girl come across a booth hosted by 3 evil mermaids. The mermaids sing their mesmerizing song to lure the two into staying in one of the 3 houses put for rent. Ian tries to silence them with the staff, but the spell is too weak. When Ian and the Goat Girl are finally in a trance, the mermaids place them in one of the houses. The house they are in starts to sink into the ground. The Goat Girl was omitted because the filmmakers wanted the film to focus on the relationship between Ian and Barley, the brothers. The scene itself was removed because the filmmakers felt it was too grim. According to, they were probably scared looking mermaids too. Evil mermaids, yeah. According to effects supervisor Vincent Seriteya, the animators wanted the spells to be something that's abstract, but also personified. So they had to converge on the idea of an image of magic, go back to the base level of the sequences and the spells, and what level of complexity would be given and how it affects the environment. Director Dan Scanlan said that Ian's arc was helpful to the animators because they could use that for all the magic we designed. The animators chose to give the film's magic a unique style after studying several animated films featuring magic such as Fantasia, Aladdin, and Hercules. Animators wanted the film's magic to fit with its suburban setting. I didn't even think about this shit, but I guess it did blend in pretty cool. I kind of want to watch it again after reading this because of the animation. Animators first developed the film's magic using hand-drawn animated drawings before turning them into computer-animated effects, with Seriteya saying that they made shapes and graphic elements that really lend themselves to what's happening in a 2D environment. He also said that the key was mixing hand-drawn and computer animation. Arguing that going one way or the other didn't work. Going too graphic didn't fit into the world that the background and the characters were created in. And going too physical in an animated world would seem too real. So they found the right balance by turning hand-drawn animated graphics into light objects and giving them a true volumetric glowing atmosphere. He further added that the choreography during the visitation spell sequence came directly from 2D, while the CGI animation and lighting provided depth perception. The film was completed on November 21st, 2019. Let's see. It was released digitally March 20, 2020. Became available for Disney Plus subscribers April 3rd due to the COVID. The digital date was just 2 weeks after the film's theatrical debut and before the end of the usual 90-day theatrical run. The announcement followed Disney's earlier than planned release of Frozen 2 on Disney Plus, as well as Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker on digital HD in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. Over its first week of home release, the film was the sixth most watched on Amazon Prime and second most on the iTunes Store. The film was later released by Walt Disney Studios Home Entertainment on DVD, Blu-ray, and Ultra Blu-ray. Onward grossed $61.6 million in the United States and Canada, $80.4 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $142. It was released alongside The Way Back and the wide expansion of Emma. I don't know what that is. Was projected to gross $50 million from 4,200 theaters. While the film remained in its first and its second weekend, it was the worst ever second weekend for a Pixar film, obviously because of the pandemic. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 88 based on 337 reviews with an average rating of 7.2 out of 10. And there's some haters. It may suffer in comparison to Pixar's classics, but Onward makes effective use of the studio's formula and stands on its own merits as a funny, heartwarming, dazzlingly animated adventure. Oh, that's a good one. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 61 out of 100, based on 56 critics indicated generally favorable reviews. Let's see. So this one dude, Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian, rated the film 3 out of 5 and called it a likable family comedy that finds an easy rhythm without effort, though he felt that the movie's attitude towards death is not as radically powerful as in Coco. So you gotta stop comparing these movies, bro. They're different movies. They're separate movies. I just watched Coco 2. It's pretty good. And somebody else, Peter Travers of Rolling Stone, says, it's no Toy Story, but the animation juggernaut's latest about two elf brothers on a quest is still worth your while. It's engaging and enjoyable, something here for everyone. Begins with an intriguing premise, doesn't come close to fully fleshing out the possibility. There should be a sequel, but whatever. That's what they say. So the film, this is some interesting facts. The film was banned in the Arab countries of Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, as one female Cyclops police officer character in the film named Spectre, voiced by Lena Waithe, briefly indicates that she is a lesbian. The scene in question is a brief scene in which the simulacrum of Colt Bronco is lamenting about how Ian and Barley Lightfoot did not respect him as a father figure. Spectre replies to him by saying, it's not easy being a new parent. My girlfriend's daughter got me pulling my hair out, okay? Homosexual acts are criminalized in the 4 countries: Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, which are predominantly Muslim, although Kuwait does not criminalize female homosexual acts. The ban is not universal, and the film was screened in Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, Lebanon, and Egypt, albeit the line was changed in the Arabic dub to My Sister's Daughter. The Russian dub, due to the Russian gay propaganda law officially criminalizing the dissemination of LGBT-related content to minors under 18, changed the line to My Partner's Daughter. The Russian dub also avoided referring to Spectre with gender-specific pronouns. The scene was also changed similarly in Poland and Hungary. Poland and Hungary. Interesting. Very interesting. I thought the movie was incredible. It made me cry. My favorite scenes were when the brother gives up his van, and then when the big brother gives up his van. And it's funny because the big brother's kind of a lame. You know, the main character, he wants to be cool, but he doesn't have a dad. Finds out his dad was actually pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty fire. I don't want to spoil anything because I really want y'all to watch it because it's actually very good. So we're gonna take another break and we'll be right back with Badass Woman in History. Maybe a freestyle, but I don't know because of how I'm feeling. Peace. I'll be right back. Badass women of history. Women of the shooting iron. Law women of the Wild Wild West. Alright. So, women of the shooting iron. Apparently today there's on television there's a very popular program titled Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. The show highlights the unlikely premise of a medically trained female doctor on the western frontier of the 19th century. As a woman, Dr. Quinn faces many hardships and biases, but she is determined and overcome most of them. As strange as it may seem, there were women on the Oklahoma frontier in another profession, thought today to have been an exclusive men's club, the peace officer. This has never been portrayed in movies or television. Research shows that there was at least one female deputy U.S. Marshal in the Indian Territory and 2 females in the Oklahoma Territory. An article from the Muskogee Weekly Phoenix, November 19th, 1891, discusses a female deputy, United States Marshal named F.M. Miller. The newspaper reported that Miss Miller was commissioned out of the federal court at Paris, Texas. She was known to be the only female deputy that worked the Indian Territory. That's what they called it back then. Miss Miller had the reputation of being a fearless and efficient officer and had locked up more than a few offenders. It was stated in the article that she was a young woman of prepossessing appearance, wears a cowboy hat, and is always adorned with a pistol belt full of cartridges and a dangerous-looking Colt pistol, which she knows how to use. Miss Miller had been in Muskogee for a few days. She had assisted Deputy U.S. Marshal Cantrell in transporting some prisoners from Talihina to the Muskogee Federal Jail. The following article was found in the vertical file on U.S. Marshals in the Oklahoma Historical Society Library. It was written in the newspaper in 1898. Female officers of the law. 2 Oklahoma girls are United States Deputy Marshals. It is not infrequent these days for an officer of the law to name a woman as a deputy, but she is nearly always what is known as an office deputy. She performs mere clerical duties and never takes to the field. But Oklahoma has set the pace. United States Marshal C.H. Thompson of Guthrie has appointed 2 women as deputies for field work. That a woman should choose the vocation of professional thief-taker in the most civilized portion of the land would be strange enough. It is infinitely more so when she chooses field duty on the worst territory in the Union. Criminals in Oklahoma and in Indian Territory, the district where these 2 girls, for they are maidens, must operate, are of the most desperate and dangerous class. More lives are lost among federal officers in a year than in all the rest of the nation together. It really was the Wild West, my friends. So it would seem that these girls possess mettle of exceptional kind to willingly undertake such duties. The young women are Miss S.M. Birch and Miss Mammy Fawcett. They are of that adventurous class of females who invaded the newly opened territory in search of homesteads. They are young, fairly good-looking, well-educated, fearless, and independent. Their duties are by no means confined to keeping Marshal Thompson's books. When they took the oath of office and assumed their duties, it was with distinct understanding that they would serve the government just as any other deputy marshal would. They were there to take the field, serve writs and warrants, and make arrests just as any rude man might be called on to do. And they have been doing this with exceptional success. That was an article. That last couple paragraphs, that was a fucking article. And the whole thing right there that I just read was from lestweforget.hamptonu.edu. And then I continued on. I think this is from Wikipedia. No, it's from something else. I don't know what it's from. But I'll find it. Lady Marshals of Indian Territory. Lady Marshal. In the late 19th century, Indian Territory, or Oklahoma, that's what they just, so Oklahoma, that's just what they called it, was considered the most violent of the American territories, as it served home to hundreds of outlaws from around the country. accused of murder, rape, robbery, arson, adultery, bribery, and numerous other crimes. Outlaws initially found a safe haven in Indian Territory, which was without law enforcement except for the Indian nation's police forces, who had no jurisdiction over the many criminals who had taken flight from other states. That would change, however, when Judge Isaac Parker was appointed to the Western Judicial District of Arkansas, which included Indian Territory. Eventually, Parker would command about 200 deputy marshals to clean up the lawless territory. But that would take years as the deputies struggled to cover some 74,000 square miles in their search for hundreds of wanted fugitives. The occupation of a U.S. deputy marshal courted constant danger, so much so that between 1872 and 1896, over 100 deputies died enforcing the law throughout the territory. Into this dangerous midst, a number of men made names for themselves, such as Heck Thomas, Bass Reeves, Bill Tillman, Chris Madsen, and dozens of others. More quietly, a few other deputies also made names for themselves because they were women. One of these brave women, as we talked about earlier, was F.M. Miller. Appointed as a U.S. Deputy Marshal out of the federal court at Paris, Texas, like we said, in 1891. When she was commissioned, she was the only female deputy known to work Indian Territory. History makes several mentions of her serving as a guard at the federal jail at Guthrie, Oklahoma, under fellow U.S. Deputy Marshal Ben Campbell. She was also known to have accompanied Campbell on all his trips. During her tenure, maybe they were in love. She was mentioned in several newspaper articles, including the Fort Smith elevator on November 6, 1891, that described her as a dashing brunette of charming manners. The article continued by stating, "The woman carries a pistol buckled around her and has a Winchester strapped to her saddle. She is an expert shot and a superb horsewoman and brave to the verge of recklessness. It is said that she aspires to win a name equal to that of Belle Starr, differing from her by exerting herself to run down criminals and in the enforcement of the law." Another article appeared a couple weeks later in the Muskogee Phoenix on November 19, 1891, which said that she had the reputation of being a fearless and efficient officer and had locked up more than a few offenders. Did I already read this one? Now, let's see. Miss Miller is a young woman of prepossessing appearance, wears a cowboy hat, and is always adorned with a pistol belt full of cartridges and a dangerous-looking Colt pistol, which she knows how to use. She has been in Muskogee for a few days, having come here with Deputy Marshal Cantrell, a guard with some prisoners brought from Talhena. Regarding Miss Miller's unique position as Deputy U.S. Marshal, another newspaper commented, "Hopefully in the future there will be more information on this colorful peace officer." Another woman who showed bravery in Indian Territory as a U.S. Deputy Marshal was a woman named Ada Kernett. The daughter of a Methodist minister, Ada Kernett moved to Oklahoma Territory with her sister and brother-in-law shortly after it opened for settlers. The 20-year-old soon found work as the clerk of the district court in Norman, Oklahoma, and as a deputy marshal to U.S. Marshal William Grimes. Her most famous arrest occurred in March 1893 when she received a telegram from Grimes instructing her to send a deputy to Oklahoma City to bring in two notorious outlaws named Reagan and Dolezal, who were wanted for forgery. However, all the other deputies were out in the field, so Kernett took responsibility. She quickly boarded a train for Oklahoma City, and upon her arrival, asked around for information on the fugitives. She soon discovered that the two men were in a saloon and quickly made her way there. Upon her arrival, she asked a man on the street to go in and tell him that a lady needed to see them outside. Ada read the warrants when the two emerged and stated they were under arrest. Heavily armed, the two men laughed at the young woman and, thinking it was a joke, allowed her to place handcuffs over their wrists. When the captives began to realize the joke was on them, Kernett announced to the crowd gathered around them that she was prepared to deputize every man to aid her if needed. However, it was not necessary, and she escorted them to the train station and telegraphed the marshal's office in Guthrie that she was bringing them in. She was 24 years old at the time. The two forgers were soon tried and convicted. Like all deputies of her era, she had to be extremely tough and ready to face a wide range of situations. The U.S. Marshal Service wrote of Kernett, U.S. Marshal Canada H. Thompson, who served from 1897 to 1902 as the Marshal of Oklahoma Territory, also had 2 female deputy marshals. Though they mostly worked in the office, they also did field work, including serving writs and warrants and making arrests. These 2 women were S.M. Birch and Mammy Fawcett. One newspaper described the women in 1898. Female officers of the law. 2 Oklahoma girls are United States deputy marshals. It is not infrequent these days for an officer of the law to name a woman as a deputy. Wait, did I read this one? I think I did. The second article says that they perform field work as bravely as men. They are young, good-looking, educated, and full of the Wild West spirit. That is, they are fearless, adventurous, energetic, and self-reliant. They were appointed with the understanding they should not be merely office deputies, but should serve writs and make arrests if need be. Their conduct has fully warranted the trust imposed upon them. Their first work was done in connection with an Indian Territory murder case. They were ordered to go to the country of the Saxon Foxes and to bring in some unruly witnesses, an extremely difficult and dangerous task. They had the writs with the names and addresses of the men wanted. They are brave as any man and expert with rifle or pistol. They travel together and can put up a good fight if it comes to that. Few men would undertake to disturb them. None would make much of a success. They're splendid riders, inured to fatigue and exposure, and prefer active outdoor life to that usually supposed to attract the feminine intellect. In order to accomplish their mission, they were forced to travel through one of the worst districts on earth. Many a deputy has gone down before the fire of some desperado in those wilds. Many a hot running fight of miles has left a trail of blood on the sandy hills and broken vales. They suffered all the privations incident to their vocation, but the bill of expenses was the last thing they thought of. They shot game and did their own cooking while away. They kept down expenses by this and other means and had a good time of it while on their trip. Their entire trip was 5 days camping. They did not go to houses. If they had the opportunity to do so, for the habitations scattered in that region are not very desirable at best. They got the witnesses and have just returned from the trip and see no reason why they should be credited with having done anything unusual. They say they are ready to go after any man wanted for any kind of crime. Everybody who knows them corroborates this declaration. Though these brave ladies were not the only ones who served as deputy marshals, they are remembered and recognized for their tenacity and courage in what was then very much a man's world, an extremely dangerous territory. From Kathy Alexander / Legends of America, that's the website. Updated November 2022. Damn. A lot of women. It's pretty badass. Pretty badass women in her story. One more break. Un más descanso. Y regresamos con un freestyle or flow or something, guys. Yo, let's wrap this baby up. Episode 112. Hey, yo, thank God for the gift. I apologize for any rift. Yo, my spirits I lift. And then my mind it drifts. And I think about my gifts. I'm talking family. I'm talking friends. I'm talking money. I'm talking ends. I'm talking cars. I'm talking clothes. I'm talking food that helps me grow. I'm talking herb. I'm talking her. I'm talking all that shit that drive me berserk. Yeah, steady getting faded. And I'm elevated like an elevator. They gon' need a damn excavator to find your body when I'm through with you. Man, what it do? Don't be a fool when we come down your block. Steady mobbing. Shout out to Lil Wayne. Head bopping. Jamming to some tunes. What it do? Man, singing the blues. Cause I'm watching the news. I gotta stop it. Fuck those topics. You need to drop it. Cause it's your stress. And we all know that. We really blessed. Haters talking. They undress us and their thoughts. They think we're thoughts, but really we're at the tops. Like baseball cards, I go hard in the boulevard. Haters talking hella shit, but they don't understand what it takes to make a spaceship, to fly into the space quick. Man, I got my ace clip, dip, drip, trip. Y'all don't even understand. I'm the motherfucking man on the whole Instagram. Fuck that, on the whole internet. And I enter in the net. That's a bet. Flying faster than a motherfucking jet. Propulsion, explosion, motion, like the ocean. It's a potion. The way I'm flowing. Yeah, it's magic. It's just a habit. I'm animated. Haters hating, but I'm feeling greater than amazing. What it do? What it is? Coming through. Hey yo, it's Chris. Chaos. I'm in the building. You way off. Hold your feelings. Catch up. Man, they grilling, stealing. I'm just trying to make it proper. Haters talk shit, but they don't want to offer any hard work, any progression. So take this as a motherfucking lesson. See y'all next week. Peace.